So this is going to be a little different than some of my other videos because I won't be talking directly about the spiritual life, but more so something we can do in our lives which has a great benefit of the spiritual life. Pay attention. This is good. Our Bible quote, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19. Or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, which you have from God, and that you are not on your own? Okay, this idea of our body as a temple of the Holy Spirit, we want to take care of this vessel we have been given from God. One way to do that, a massive way, is sleep. Great sleep matters so much. It's easy to learn about, it's easy to implement. I'm not as much going to be saying like the ways to get a better night's sleep. I would highly recommend checking out Andrew Huberman or this YouTuber Nsima Eyang. It's like Nsima. I probably pronounced that wrong. His video on healthy habits talks about sleep in a nice, concise manner. But this is more to convince you of why you should care about sleep and like my personal journey with it. So, high school. I never really thought about sleep, thought about wellness, and then I got into it big time. I read the book. No, first I listened to the podcast with Dr. Matthew Walker, sleep expert, talking with Joe Rogan about sleep. And then I was like, wow, this is great. And it was kind of became my craze, like my senior year of high school. I got a sleep tracker. Eventually I got a Whoop. I was tracking my sleep. And I just remember like being infused with this, like, I remember telling people it too, like, bro, like, how'd you sleep? Like, you gotta sleep better, like, sleep matters. And I had this quote I would say to my friends, like, a great day starts with a good night's sleep. And I said that, and I really believed that, and I really followed that. I remember that summer, I was so grateful. My job started at 10 a.m. So I would get up at like 8:30, 9 a.m. in the summer, and which is kind of rare for a summer job, I feel like. And I think I would end up spending like 9 or 9.5 hours in bed. I forget like the exact statistics, but like 10 hours committed to like my wind down routine and sleep total. And it was great. And I felt great. And then I got to college. I had the Whoop. And then I realized in college, like, you're not going to sleep as well, especially if you want to hang out with people, or that's kind of what I thought at the time. I ditched the Whoop and I ditched the sleep. Not, obviously I was sleeping, but like I ditched caring about it as much. It kind of got disturbed, and then I kind of realized you can do without it. And that has sort of been, I guess, like a philosophy I've had, like you can do without it, how to get away with less sleep. Caffeine, exercise in the morning, sunlight, psyching yourself up, sleep consistency. You can get away with less sleep. This last summer, too, I worked a job where it was started at 7:30 a.m. So I would have to get up at 6:45 to make work. But I found if I got up at 6 and sacrificed 45 minutes of sleep, but ran and then took a cold shower and then went to work, I had more energy. So the summer I was spending maybe 8 hours in bed. One thing I'll say, I don't think you need a sleep tracker, but I think you need to recognize that for how many hours you're in bed, normally subtract 1, and that's how many hours you've actually slept, because you're kind of up throughout the night, even if you don't realize it. So if you say spend 8.5 hours in bed and you think you sleep for 8.5 hours, that's probably only 7.5 hours. So just keep that in mind. But this summer I was spending like 8 hours in bed. And to be honest, like I didn't feel that bad. I felt like I could kind of get by. I was still improving physically. I felt fine. I had decent energy. I would be tired sometimes. Nothing terrible. And then this past year in college, it was kind of the same, like getting by, not really worrying about it, and there is an element of not wanting to be obsessed with it, because in the past, in high school, I really was obsessed with it. Probably a little too much of sacrificing social stuff, of sacrificing, I don't know, like social plans. What was I going to say? Oh, prayer, like not staying up if I'm going to say certain prayers, like not saying them because I want to go to bed, stuff like that, but more so social. And I kind of backlashed on myself hard and took this hard turn into like, not I'll sleep when I'm dead. I still realized sleep was important, but like it's not the most important thing I can do without it. And in part that was inspired by seeing friends of mine being able to do well without sleep, survive and thrive off of a little sleep. And I was still doing well. But recently, and again, what's been more so bothersome for me is I really lack discipline at night. At night, when my nighttime routine starts, when it's like 8:30, I begin scrolling. I begin texting people for a while. I don't really need to be texting. I just begin wasting time, mainly scrolling. And I'll often set a bedtime or say I want to be in bed around this time, let's say like 10:30, and then in reality it's 11 or 11:30. So I realized that this year in college that I'm awfully ill-consistent or not consistent with when I say I'm going to go to bed. And I've set out to change that, and it's been honestly really difficult. Like, I don't know, I think I have decent discipline, but not at all when it comes to night and like going to bed. And then it happened. Last week, I was in bed for maybe 9 hours and 15 minutes, and I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh. I literally was saying to myself, I was like, I am such an idiot. Like, such an idiot. I cannot believe it. I woke up and I did not feel tired. This was like a eureka, because I hadn't felt like that in, I don't even know. I had been like setting an alarm to get up at a certain time, and I still set my alarm. More recently, I'll talk on this maybe in a bit. I try to like set an alarm for like when I really need to be up, but trying to wake up naturally, not to an alarm if possible, so my body goes through its cycles. But I woke up and I was like, you're an idiot. Like, I've been neglecting this for so long. And I felt energized. It didn't feel like difficult to get out of bed. It didn't feel like I needed to like do push-ups and take a cold shower and drink coffee to like function. Like, I had energy, and my ability to focus on my work, I had a better lift, I had better energy, I was more positive, I felt happier. I subjectively felt just more alive. And like, I feel that now as I'm saying this. Like, last night I slept pretty good, and the night before not as good. Like, and that's on me. That was when I went to bed. But there is such a difference. There is such a difference. And I literally was like, you're an idiot, bro. Like, I've been neglecting this. And that's the thing, you don't realize how sleep deprived you are until you get a good night's sleep. It's kind of ironic in that sense. But I wasn't able to, I don't know, like discern that I was neglecting this until I got it. And oh my gosh, bro, it makes such a difference. Like, I don't know. And I kind of had this theory. It was like, oh, like sleep, it's only really necessary if for like, not enjoyment, but like the difference between like 8 and 9 hours in bed or like 7 or 8 hours of sleep is just like, you feel good. But bro, like I don't think that's true. Like, the difference of like physical cognitive benefits besides just subjectively feeling much better, I think are there, and we hear about that all the time. And I so often look for like best supplements, best practices, and in these videos, like these optimal science-based lifting or like Huberman videos, they always talk about sleep. Like, until I think this is the biggest like realization for sleep I've had in the past couple of years of just how much better you feel. So for me, I found if I'm in bed for 8.5 hours, I feel if I'm in bed for like 9, let's say 9 hours and 15 minutes, and by in bed I mean like I'm in bed with a book and then maybe like 15 minutes to fall asleep, so probably like 8 hours 45 minutes, ideally 9 hours in bed when I like feel like I'm asleep, so 8, I feel so much better. So I want to, this is kind of my new theory on sleep. It matters so much. It's key. You function better off of good sleep. People have been telling me that online. I've heard that, but I haven't really applied it consistently for the past 3 years. However, we should not idolize it. And I think if there's no good reason to stay up, you should be getting like near perfect sleep every night that there is no good reason to stay up. You shouldn't be wasting time, especially scrolling like I do, or reading or getting up early just to get up early so you can say you got up early so you feel good for the morning grind. You should be prioritizing sleep, like big time. However, I think that especially one night a week, if there's a reason to stay up, social, party, friends are hanging out, someone needs you, deep conversation, you really have to get a piece of work done. I think one night a week is not that big of a deal. And for me, my new kind of theory has been, like, I'm perfect sleep. And if I need to stay up, if it happens the first time in the week, I'll be kind of prone to stay up. Like someone's, hey, do you want to hang out? One night a week? Sure. If it becomes the second night a week, do I want to hang out? My kind of like standard of like how fun is this going to be and how late kind of lowers. Like I'm not going to be as likely to stay up if it's the second night. Because you can rally. That's the thing that I've learned is you can function incredibly well off of 6 hours, off of no sleep. Like pulling an all-nighter because you're jet lagged. Not because you're jet lagged, because you're like in a plane and can't sleep in a plane. You can function well off of no sleep and get a surprising amount of stuff done when you're tired. But that shouldn't be the goal. You should know you have that capability and capacity to like rough through a night if you need to stay up, or if it's something really worth socially for you. But we lose that capacity when it becomes 3, 4 every night of the week where you're not sleeping, ideally. So that's kind of my theory. You should be getting perfect sleep or near perfect sleep to the best of your ability. But if it's a reason to stay up, the first night a week, I say stay up once a week. That's fine. As it becomes more and more like second night, like, okay, you stayed up Friday night, Saturday night, your standard, it needs to be more worth it, and that, if that makes sense. So that's my new theory on sleep. I feel so subjectively better, and I can pay greater attention, and I'm happier the last couple of days getting better sleep. So I highly recommend this. Again, I'd recommend Andrew Huberman for looking up sleep advice, Dr. Matthew Walker, YouTuber Nasima Iyang. I'm butchering that guy's name, but yeah, like, I don't know, like, it's just wild. And briefly connecting this to the spiritual life, well, there is an element of being able, like I said, and knowing that you can function when you're tired and pray when you're tired. I am happier, and I can pay, like, I go to morning mass at 8 a.m. When I was getting bad night's sleep, I would literally close my eyes for the homily and the first reading. I kind of felt meditative, but it honestly kind of felt like I had to. Like, I was just so tired. Getting good night's sleep, I can pay attention in mass better. I don't feel like I'm falling asleep. My prayer, it's easier to pay attention. I just feel more focused, just all around better. It's meta. It improves everything. So sleep, it improves every part of your life. We're meant to treat our bodies well. We're meant to be stewards of them. Know you can do without it, and be willing to sacrifice your sleep for stuff that matters, especially if someone's going through a hard time and it's one of those deep late night conversations. But for the most part, get good sleep. Like, it has carryover to everything. Yeah, just more present, more focused in my prayer and in everything. So sleep well. Yeah, God bless.